Hello and welcome to the Earth Trust podcast. I'm Verity Warren, Head of Communications at Earth Trust. Easy access to good quality green spaces makes us healthier and happier, improves our sense of community and encourages us to take positive action to protect the environment. In this episode, you'll be hearing about a new pilot project that's a great example of the power of bringing people closer to their environment. The project is called Growing Places, and the pilot, running between January and April this year, was seed funded by Chilterns and North Wessex Downs AONBs. We joined forces with Aspire Oxfordshire to explore the needs, interests and potential for engaging people facing disadvantage with their local green spaces. Over to Anna.
So I'm Anna Wilson and I'm the Head of Experience and Engagement at Earth Trust. I look after all of the interactions and activities that we put on for Earth Trust audiences, whether that's people coming as part of just a day out to one of our green spaces, to walk up the clumps or to visit one of our community reserves, or whether they're coming here on an event or part of our public programme or part of our learning programme as well.
So we've just had our Lambing Festival, which was welcoming a family audience and lots of people coming to experience the farm and the Earth Trust Centre. But we also have some other different groups that we're trying to engage with too, don't we? So can you say anything about some of the other audiences that we're trying to reach?
Yeah, absolutely. We also want to engage with different communities. We want to reach people that going out to a lambing festival or for a walk in the woodlands or a farmland might not be might not be part of their comfort zone, might not be something that they're used to doing. They might not have many opportunities or the means to engage with natural green spaces. So what we've been doing as part of this project, we partnered with Oxfordshire Aspire and Didcot Turning Point, and they work really closely with people who are facing problems like homelessness, poverty and other disadvantages in society, and they're trying to help these people to find employment, to find housing, to increase their skills and their confidence. And so we wanted to work with this partner to deliver a project with a type of audience that we as Earth Trust don't normally engage with. And so this project was a really nice opportunity to do that.
What kind of role do green spaces and being in nature play in that kind of situation, or when you've got people who are facing some real hardships? How can engaging with nature and being part of green spaces help?
Well, we know that green spaces are good for people's health and well-being, physical and mental health and well-being. But that's actually one of the things that we wanted to find out a little bit. And the point of this project was to not make any assumptions about this type of audience that we've not worked with before, and to actually ask them what it meant to them and what it could do for them. And we worked with, I think we had 9 people who came as part of the different sessions that we put on. And we got different feedback from some of them about the things that they valued and what it did for them. So we did different things. So we did some workshops where we sort of gathered their thoughts and their feelings and their sort of attitudes and got to know each other a bit. We went on walks to explore different spaces around Earth Trust Farm, and we also on our final session got involved in a little bit of conservation work, and we were clearing out some sort of self-seeded ash in Broad Arboretum. So getting involved with sort of loppers and
big tools.
saws and tools. And spending some time doing that.
And what kind of feedback did people were people giving in those early workshops about? Were there things that people told you that you weren't expecting to hear, or was it confirming some of the things that we might anticipate?
Well, I mean, one of the things that was really encouraging, I think, about those early workshops is that the the people that came along to them were really open to all sorts of different activities and were just really keen and enthusiastic to get involved with different types of things. So some of them spent lots of their time taking photographs of sort of the signs of spring that we were starting to see on our walks.
Some really great photos as well, weren't
some
they?
really good photos. Some of them, it was more important. You know, they said things like that they got out into green spaces quite often in their own local community, but what this project gave them was that more social activity and being amongst other people and learning new things and overcoming some of the sort of anxieties and things like that they had in social situations.
And that's really interesting, I guess, isn't it? Because it's not just about, I guess, the value of this kind of project is it's not just going out by yourself for a walk, it's also connecting with others whilst you're doing that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the flip side, there were others that really valued getting out somewhere a lot more peaceful, somewhere quieter, somewhere open, somewhere green, seeing nature, seeing the farm, and actually how calming that was as an experience for them. So one talked about having a sort of a constantly racing mind, and actually doing activities like this really just that helped him take a moment and be a little bit more at peace and at ease. So lots of different benefits just in the sort of conversations that we were starting to have with people who took part.
And where do you think, what's next for this project or this type of work? Where are we hoping as a trust to go with this? Specifically for this group and more broadly, is it telling us things that we might not have otherwise known?
So this was a pilot project, and it was funded by the Mend the Gap programme, which is a programme organised by both the North Wessex Downs and the Chilterns AONB, and they gave us the funding very generously to run this as a bit of a pilot. So we've been talking to Oxfordshire Aspire for a long time now about how they might come together with Earth Trust, what we could do together and what we could learn from each other. And this was us testing whether that relationship would work, and the type of things that we thought we wanted to do would work. And we're really, both of the partners are really happy with what we've tried. One of the things that we did in one of the workshops was ask the participants, what would you like to do if this was a project that you could, I don't know, come here weekly over a much longer term? And we got some really interesting ideas from them about where they would like to take it. So what Earth Trust is going to do now is seek funding to turn this into a bigger thing, and develop that relationship, and maybe open it out to more people. But it'd be brilliant if some of those people that have taken part in the pilot could come back. And then some of the things that they wanted to do included taking it to different places. And one of the biggest barriers, and this wasn't a surprise, but one of the biggest barriers that we found that most of the participants had to engagement in green spaces was access. So many of them relied on public transport or walking in their local area. So being able to get out to places that they couldn't otherwise visit was really valuable. But they also wanted to go and do a bit more engagement in some of the green spaces in their communities. So they came from places like Wallingford, from Abingdon, from Didcot, from all across South Oxfordshire, and they wanted to visit different places.
I guess that's actually something that we maybe didn't touch on when you were describing the project to start off with, is that this pilot was bringing people to the sort of flagship Earth Trust space, wasn't it, in Little Whitnam, but we've also got these community reserves that we might be able to, or hope to, engage people in somewhere exactly like you said, closer to those urban centres where it might be easier to get to by public transport.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started off with this pilot in around Earth Trust Centre and Farm, which is part of the North Wessex Downs AONB, but depending on where the project went in the future, we might explore other local green spaces and different activities as well. So ranging from doing things like the walking together and talking together, photography, but they wanted to do more things like hedge laying and tree planting and things that were quite physical activities, making a difference in their green spaces. There were comments that they wanted to do things like bird identification and butterfly surveying. So that was another thing that we did that I didn't mention, is that they really wanted to get sort of first-hand experience of nature, but also of animals, and we were really lucky when they were here for their final visit that we were in the middle of lambing. So our lambing sheds had the pregnant ewes and newborn lambs in, and we also had some goats and kids on site as part of our lambing festival. So as part of that last visit, we went to the lambing sheds and we went and stroked the goat kids, and that was really, really really lovely, and something that they definitely enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
So more opportunities to see nature, whether it's bird watching or I don't know whether we could do something even sort of looking at nature at dark. Maybe it doesn't always have to be in the daytime, do moth trapping or all sorts of things like that would be something that they were interested in doing. They really were open to anything, which was great.
I guess, is there another kind of learning about what you were talking about, not making any assumptions? I think sometimes also there's this idea that people might not have any experience of nature or be totally disconnected, and actually most of the people we spoke to, nature was something that they had quite a lot of experience of from other parts of their lives, or fishing with family, or like parents, or making the most of the spaces close to them. It's just extending those opportunities, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, and that might be a little bit of how we sort of built this project, just being a pilot. So for this one, it was something that the participants signed up for themselves.
Right.
So maybe the people that are even more disengaged with nature wouldn't have necessarily put themselves forward. So that would be maybe a thing to look at in a bigger project, and taking it somewhere is are there people that didn't sign up to this project because they feel like the outdoors is so far removed from a place that they feel comfortable. So there's a little bit of work there we probably need to do to identify some of those barriers, but yeah, the people that attended already sort of walked or cycled, or one of them was a horse rider, so you know, people who do like getting outdoors, and it was just making that opportunity more available. And another really lovely thing that we've had is, out of the 9 people that came, 3 of them have contacted our volunteer officer.
Oh, fantastic.
And want to know more about opportunities for volunteering, whether that's something that they could get to Earth Trust and do here at the centre, or whether that's something that they could do either wardening or helping the land management teams in some of the community reserves we have in some of the towns in South Oxfordshire. Then that would be a really positive outcome if that was something that they then were able to do as a result of having taken part in this project.
And that I was going to ask you actually about, you know, at this point, obviously it was a short pilot. The impacts that we're likely to see or understand are going to be quite limited within a pilot period, but that is a major outcome for something like this, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And something that came about, that they asked for it. We weren't there saying, you know, oh, you should sign up for volunteering. They were there saying, what can we do? How can we do this more? You know, they could see some of the volunteers when they were on site here, and they were like, how could I be one of those people? How can I do more of this type of work with you outside of the project? So that was lovely.
Fantastic. So is there any sort of next steps or anything that we haven't touched on that you think it's important for people to know that we're trying to do more of?
I don't think so at this point. We're still sort of looking back over our sort of evaluation, so working with Oxfordshire Aspire, who have gathered quite a lot of feedback. They've gathered some testimonials from the people that have taken part, so we're still collecting that data in and seeing what it tells us, and we'll be sort of writing that up for our funders, and just looking for opportunities, looking at ways that we can do more of the same but also grow, and always interested in finding other partners that might be able to support this type of work, other people that we could join up with to to meet and engage and learn more about some of those audiences that aren't already engaging with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you so much, Anna. That's been really interesting, and yeah, really great to hear about something that's, you know, kind of a small and simple project, but how impactful it can be. So looking forward to hearing more about the future.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You've been listening to the Earth Trust podcast. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you'd like to get involved or find out more about our work, then please visit our website at earthtrust.org.uk.